Now. Hey everyone, welcome to whachow. It's like a kick in the nuts. I'm your host, Superstar Guy. Today we're joined by our normal cast, Curvifer,
Hey ho, how you doing?
Cheru,
Yo, yo, yo.
Crikey Dave,
Red Robin.
Serena Midori / Gabby,
I can't stop crying.
Liz,
Um,
Martin Little Karibo Billany,
Shooby doo, shoot be doo.
and hey, it's that Sean.
And that's okay.
And our very super special secret guest, Miss Erica Schroeder. Hi, thanks for being on the show. This is awesome.
Hey.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Hello.
So, all right, just to clarify, you did the voice of Blaze the Cat, My Valentine, Nurse Joy. There's a lot of like big deal characters here. Like, help me out, Curb. What's going on?
Yeah, we listed all your stuff. You know, we got Dark Magician Girl and Bianca on Pokemon right now, and there's tons and tons and tons. You've done so much stuff, like in the last like 10 years. I've heard you on so many Saturday morning shows, and I know that you just started doing stuff like this like in the last year or so, and we're really happy to have you on because we've had
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
I
No,
was
we have on like internet celebrities, so to have like a professional is a really big deal for us. So I really appreciate, we all really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk with us for a little while.
of
And now
course.
the very first question I have, it's really important here, so I want you to think really hard. Is if you could be any kind of
Okay.
tree, what kind of tree would you be and why?
Oh, geez. Well, this is a fun one. Well, I could go a couple different ways. I could go with the elm tree because where I grew up, there was like 4 elm streets. I had to give someone direction to my house. I had to say, make a left on Elm and make a right on Elm and make a left on Elm and make a right on Elm. So that could be fun. Or
Okay.
maybe I could go with the magnolia, which is like kind of the tree of the old South, kind of beautiful.
those are
and,
pretty trees.
yeah. I
See,
think-
this is a great answer. I love this question. I honestly do.
This question started as a joke. We interviewed Pete Capella, who played opposite to you in one of the Sonic games, and it was just as a joke. And then now we have to
Hilarious.
ask it to every guest we have.
Oh, now I have to know what he said. You're gonna have to tell me.
What I forgot
Like
what
he said, like a ficus or something. Like,
Maybe. Yeah.
Of course
I-
he did.
Have you met Pete before by any chance?
Oh yeah. We worked together on Shaman King first, I think.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yay.
Very cool.
Yeah, he had like, what's the name of that character? But he was hilarious. He's like one of those people that is always doing a voice. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He was
You'd
super.
be like, I never really knew what his real voice was, to be honest.
He's in character all the time.
Yeah, so talented. So talented.
Awesome.
Mr. Martin, would you like to ask the next one here?
Oh gosh, let me find it. The next question is, what was your first experience like in doing voiceover for cartoons, video games, and anime?
Oh, wow. What's interesting is my first voiceover job was not cartoons, anime, or video game. It was actually Ultramantiga. I don't know if anybody's heard of Ultramantiga.
Oh,
It
the
was
live
my
action
job.
show? Yeah.
Yeah. So I became like an expert on reading lip slap. I mean, it was like a mega crash course. You know, I didn't have to go from animation to live action. It was crazy specific. But that was my first job, and it was funny because I've always kind of been known in the theater business and stuff like, you know, as being a versatile actor, someone who could come in and play like, you know, sometimes they'll have like 5 characters and 4 of them play the same role, and then the 5th person plays like 8 people. You know what I mean? So that kind of person.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to get called in for this audition, and they're going to be like, you know, do these crazy voices or whatever. And then they ended up just wanting my voice. So I was pretty surprised, and I had a really good time with it. But I knew that they were towing the line just a little bit too much. You know, I think that it would have been a great success if they had gone and just made it totally zany and stupid and silly, and sort of, you know, made fun of it in a way. They could have really gotten a bigger audience, but I understand they wanting to be, you know, faithful to it at the same time. But
Yeah,
that was my first experience in voiceover.
Okay.
very
Wow.
cool.
Cool.
Dave, do you want this next one?
Oh, certainly. What is your favorite word?
Oh, favorite word. Oh,
I hate
geez.
questions like these.
Whatever, they're
I
great.
don't know. You know, there's. I find myself as saying apparently a lot.
Right.
Before I take a key, and my daughter's always asking me, "What does that mean, mommy? What does apparently mean?" You know, and I have to explain it to her. Just sort of like a word that sort of fits into any sentence that I could start with. Apparently, two boys left alone at home. You know, bad things happen. But I don't really know. I don't know. That's just a word that I use a lot.
It could be a very sophisticated word, like, well, apparently he was an axe murderer, but
Great. That's great, Dave. Thank you.
Curb,
You
you
didn't
got
ask
this
me what
one?
my favorite
Oh,
curse
sorry,
word
just
is.
kidding.
So that's something.
Oh.
Well,
What is your favorite curse word?
We can skip to that one now if you want.
Oh, is that a question?
That
That's
was.
a question, yeah.
If you're
It is
cool
a
with
question.
saying it.
I
don't
guess
lie.
my favorite curse phrase would probably just be fuckface.
Okay.
It feels really good to say when you're just really, you know. I don't think I've ever really said it to someone. Maybe a stranger that
You
littered.
just
or
said it to
something. I'd be
us.
like,
Where you're
oh, but I didn't mean it.
Aw.
I hope no
Yeah.
people under 18 will be listening to this.
No.
No,
I'm sure they've heard it
Not
before.
really.
Yeah. Oh my lord. All right. Now we have a very nerdy question.
Yeah,
because we-
all right, yeah, go ahead, fuckface.
Yeah.
Go ahead, fuckface.
I curb a fuckface. That's the question. So
Jennifer's a resident voice nerd, so yes, definitely. Get on.
we're big. We're also all big Sonic fans, and you know, I mentioned, you know, we've interviewed a bunch of your castmates from the games and shows. So
The ones we could kidnap and
the ones that were willing enough to listen to us. So with the Sonic games, I know there was a lot of business with the cast kind of shifting to New York, and Mike Pollock had talked about when the show and the games had first started, there was the advent of having to voice match the previous cast. But with you, you actually had the opportunity to create your own voice for some of the newer characters like Blaze and Wave the Swallow and Shara the Genie, and I think some other characters, but your wiki tends to lie to us sometimes, so I'm not sure if there's one I'm missing on. But I know those ones for sure. So when I know it's been several years by now, but like when you were working on like Sonic Rush or Sonic Riders or any of that stuff, you know, when you were auditioning for like Blaze and Wave and some of them, what was your thought process for like creating some of their characterizations? Like, you know, what kind of freedom did you have? What was the experience like?
I remember them saying with Blaze, they wanted her to be, you know, like super cool as a cucumber, you know, but she's got a major edge and she can lose her temper. And I remember them saying that she was a tomboy. But she is a princess. She's got this power and she's got, you know, this prestige, but she's just a tomboy at heart. So I remember that. They really didn't want to make her too feminine.
Right.
I actually don't remember the audition so much as I remember the records, because we would come in with something very. I think the performance has changed a lot from audition to performance, because there were often a lot of cooks in the kitchen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, with a lot of shows, like I would have like a director and, you know, producer would pop in now and then, and they'd have an engineer there, of course, all the time. And some of the great engineers can put their 2 cents in too, and I would totally listen. But in this case, and everybody was cool. I mean, they were cool people. They were fun to work with, but there was a lot of stuff that was lost in translation sometimes. And they did have a translator there, and then usually I think like a producer and a director, and then, you know, our American director, and then the engineer, and then usually like a 4-kids producer. So there was usually 4 to 6 people in there during the records.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a little bit frustrating sometimes, only because I don't mind, you know, having lots of people, you know, giving you ideas as long as they're all the same, you know.
Right.
But sometimes they disagreed on things, and usually, I mean, they were very cool about it. But I do know that some of the voices, not the performances, but some of the voices would get watered down, and therefore I think some of them ended up being similar, because I think they liked a certain type of female voice, and they were always trying to steer me back to that. which was fine with me. I mean, as long as they were more concerned about the attitude behind it than the voice itself, which I found really interesting because it's a matter of working from the inside out or from the outside in, and I think they really preferred you work from the inside out,
Right.
which is different for anime, So it was a little bit challenging in that regard, but I did enjoy it. I mean, definitely did enjoy it. I would have preferred to have the voices be more different and diversified.
Right.
But I did have a good time doing it.
I'll tell you something too. As the first person to voice this character, the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom on the internet is very, very scrutinizing. I'll put that lightly, but I can say 100% truthfully that Blaze the Cat is probably the most well-received new character to be introduced to the Sonic franchise in the last 15 years, probably. I honest to God, I'm not making this up just to make you feel better. I don't know a single person that is like, oh yeah, Blaze sucks. Nobody has ever said that.
Thank you.
No, Blaze was great.
Blaze is pretty fucking awesome.
Blaze and Eggman were the only redeeming qualities about some games later on.
I mean, the dialogue. She had a lot of great dialogue. I mean, I remember a lot of cool scenes. There's even some scenes that kind of borderline love scenes. With touching, moving moments. I remember here and there.
I didn't play that game.
Well, actually, Sonic 2006, which is a good example of the scrutiny I was talking about a minute ago.
Lots of touching in that game.
Yeah, a lot of touching. No, but actually, Pete Capella, who we interviewed before, we mentioned, he played Silver the Hedgehog, who was your best bud. And there were a lot of really cute, memorable scenes with the two of them. There's one that we joke about a lot where he's asking her, Blaze to kill someone to save the world, is it right? And she's like, you're so naive. And I'm like, oh, they're so adorable, oh my god.
I remember you always saying that.
No, to ship it!
I remember that, Kirby would always say that scene, Blaze, what is sex?
What is sex? You're so naive. she would have to explain that to Silver,
I didn't know that Pete played that role.
Yeah. He was really funny as Silver. We miss him a lot. He moved to LA a while ago, so. All right, moving away from Sonic after 20 years of that.
Gabby.
What?
You have this next one.
Oh, okay. So what is your least favorite word?
Oh, well, I know what most women's least favorite word is, and that would be moist.
Yes.
I did have to audition for one of those, microwavable chocolate desserts, and had to say the word moist 100 times. Actually, doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. My least favorite word, and I have a least favorite word. I can say pretty much anything in the world except for there's a word I don't like to say, which is,
if you don't want to say it, it's okay.
I say with my when my kids have gas, I say they say, "Mommy, I stepped on a duck." That's what they say.
Okay.
That's what we say. That's what we say in my family because the other word is just so ugly to me.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, certain sexual terminology doesn't bother me at all, but that word just, if someone was to give me a role like a major, television episode in a major thing, and they said I had to say that word, I'd have to think twice about it.
Wow. That is very.
But if they offered me $1 million, I'd say it.
Well, there's that.
That's right. It's always $1 million that gets you.
Oh Lord.
Well, I guess we better take out that song about passing gas, guys. I'm sorry.
It was a great musical number and everything. We had everything.
It's gone now. Gone.
There's a song and dance number, and just.
There is a lot of music.
There usually is in musical numbers.
Well, I meant yeah.
Should we call the fireworks guy?
No, we should call Cheru to read this next one.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. All right. So you've recently started going to conventions, I'm assuming, right? And making appearances at local cons?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have you in particular have any experiences that have really stuck out to you, like either good or bad, or
Oh,
yeah.
I had a couple of. I'm trying to think. Oh, there was a guy. He was really sweet, really, really sweet. He came to the to YCS in Providence, and I've only gone to 2 so far, and that one was the benefit for Dan. And I was like,
Oh, right.
I'm going.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know, and but there was a guy there that brought like every Blaze and Wave, like every single video game I'd ever done. It seemed like, and I think he brought like 20 different things for me to sign, and I signed them all, and he was just like completely dumbfounded and amazed that I would take the time to sign all of them. He was like, "Oh my God, you're going to sign?" He's like, I was like, "Well, you took the time to find them and to fish them out and bring them here, you know." So I was just, I guess I was just a little taken aback just because I thought I didn't really know I had any fans. You know what I mean? It's like you just do this because you love to do it, but you don't. So I'd only got my Facebook page up like a year ago, and I was doing that because I was getting more and more friend requests on Facebook, and Chris and I are friends on Facebook because we've, have a lot of friends that are.
Yeah, you friended me, which I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
But I don't remember. I don't remember how it happened. I remember that we were talking about something online about something, but generally I don't have any friends that I don't know, that I've never met,
Right.
in person. Like that's just, to protect my privacy with quotation marks because
Right,
Facebook is not private at all.
Right.
But so I felt
Understandable.
I felt really bad ignoring them after a long period of time, and then I think when Tai Chi Chaser started, I started getting lots and lots of requests. So I think it was around that time I opened up a Facebook page because I thought, well, this would be a good way to have dialogue with people and still retain some privacy. And so I've been learning about the fans that way. And I guess to answer your question, I went off on a little tangent there. There was a guy at the Rock Con in Pennsylvania. He was so sweet and so cute, and younger guy, and was wearing this like skin tight white outfit. I don't know what it was. It was like a little bit see-through. And they were having, you could get your picture taken with any of the guests there in front of the green screen. And so he and his friend wanted to get their picture taken with me, and he pretended he was proposing to me. He had down, a ring. He had a ring with him. It was like a trinket ring or whatever. And then this other guy was holding my other arm, like pretending he was smoking a cigarette. It was pretty funny. They were cute. They were really, really. They made an impression on me because they were very, very funny. But, yeah, and he kept saying, and then when he said goodbye, he was like, "I love you," and I would laugh. He'd be like, "No."
Wow.
Then he'd go,
Sorry,
he'd go,
I'm
"No,
taken.
I mean it."
I'm like,
He just started cracking up, and I was like, I wasn't really sure, but I guess those are the two things that stuck out from the 2 cons.
By the way, this is just a little side question because you mentioned how did the charity drive go? That was like the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament for the benefit for Dan.
Oh, it went really, really well. It went really well. It was a lot of fun to be with like me and the 6 other guys, and we rode in together on a van, and just like it was just nonstop laughter. It was ridiculous.
I was really happy to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dan is okay,
Mhm.
and I don't know that I'm allowed to say how much we raised, but I think I can safely say it was over 10 grand.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's great.
that wasn't even the cover. That was just all the extra stuff that we did to raise money during the.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it went really well, and we had a really good time, and yeah.
Our friend Martin here with the very nice sounding British accent. Actually, he and his wife did a charity drive when that first happened about a year ago, which raised quite a bit of money for Dan, and it was because we know that Dan is like a wonderful human being, and we really wanted to help him out in that time of being. So.
Oh, thank you, Martin.
I mean, the guy has done a lot for me and for all of us, so, I felt that it was only appropriate that we all band together and give back.
That's so great. Thank you.
Sean, why don't you take the next one? Because I'm gonna save my other one for later. Because we've been no. I mean, do Sean's one with the profession. I'll come back to that bigger one later.
Oh, okay. Well, what profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Oh, well, I have been attempting photography. I've kind of always been a photographer, but I did it with film, and then I guess over the last 4 years I've been doing digital photography, but there's something holding me back from going all the way, and I think it's because as actors, you see your friends getting older, and they're becoming directors, they're becoming teachers, they're becoming other things, and you're thinking, is that what I'm supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to change? Like, do I have to change? And I came to a realization this summer that, like, I keep trying to reinvent myself, but ultimately, I love being an actor, and I don't really want to be anything else, I mean, I think it would be great to do photography because I do enjoy it and to earn extra money, but I feel like I'm actually, when I had my kids, I thought, oh, maybe I'll just stop or, tone it down, and I have, but I'm really looking forward to getting on the stage more and getting out there and doing more theater again. And so in answer to your question, I would say photography would be the big thing.
Oh, cool.
But that I still love being an actor, and I think the best is yet to come.
Yes.
Shit, that got deep.
What?
That got deep.
Alrighty.
Okay, Curb, you want to do yours now, or?
I'll because I've been talking too much. I want to save her a little later.
We can find Liz.
Liz.
Which one? Okay, awesome. Let's see. I'm moving, bouncing around so much.
Sorry.
Okay, let's see. All right. Wow, wrong button. Okay, sorry. Do you have any? Shut up! Oh my God, I'm reading. Go ahead. Do you have any funny? Okay, I know I'm saying funny. That doesn't mean people laughing. Do you have any funny in the booth stories? Like, things that happen while you're recording, or director's done something dumb, things like that.
Oh, okay. Well, have you guys ever heard of Joe Shallak?
No,
Have you heard that name before?
I don't think so.
No.
Joe is like had been at 4Kids for years. He's still there, and people call him Vegas. Have you heard of that name, Vegas?
No, actually the directors at 4Kids tend to be slightly anonymous, so I don't know if
Joe's
his
an
name.
engineer. He's absolutely hilarious. He's an engineer. He does promos, and so I didn't see him as often as the other fellas, but he was notorious for just rolling all the time, and you'd forget sometimes, and you'd tell some crazy story or something, and then he would save it and sort of play back snippets during your session to embarrass you, and you're like, oh, God, is that going to be like, is somebody going to hear that or whatever? And so just to give you a little insight, this Joe Vegas is very sneaky. And I guess another story, not about me, but would be Pro Tools 5, which is where for some reason, most of my big roles I ended up in Pro Tools 5. There's 5 studios that were there. And I was almost always in Pro Tools 5 with Mike Knobloch. He's another amazing engineer, like one of the best. And over time, there was this sign that was written there that was like, keep your shoes on. And then like a bunch of other really strange, like random rules. And then people would add on to it, like keep your shirt on, and none of that, just all these different things that actors would start writing on the bottom of the list. But you'll have to see if someone will give up the reason why the no shoes rule was written, or the no bare feet rule was written, because there was an actor who loved to perform in his bare feet.
Wow.
And apparently he would stink up the entire room.
Wow.
But I'm not going to give it away, because I love him. But he probably would tell you anyway. But yes, I am notorious for being one of those actors that does inappropriate things now and then. But I won't tell you.
What?
Later.
What?
Tom Whalen showed one of your bloopers at a convention I went to in Detroit recently, from Joe versus Joe, where like your character's jogging and she's like, okay, geez, sorry, my boobs hurt.
I would often, like, there was like an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Something where it was strange. Like Akiza was like taking a little child, and like holding her, but like it really looked like she was breastfeeding this child.
Oh.
And I think I said something like, "Mama got milk" or something like that, and they just lost it. They played it for me for 2 months every time I was in the studio.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that.
No.
No one
We won't
listens to this
tell.
show. You're all right.
You're safe.
I think Sean Schemmel has told more incriminating behind-the-scenes stories than that, so I think you'll be safe.
Oh, okay.
Sai, you were
no.
you were like all over the place on this outline, by the way. You have the next question for the.
I do.
I thought it was
the-
true.
Oh yeah, sure. You can ask yours next. All right.
You're all over the place, Cub.
We have too many cooks in the kitchen, it seems.
Again.
Anyway,
Good.
I
I have my own personal question. I want to ask, what character out of all the ones that you've played is your favorite, and then which one is your favorite to voice?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I have soft spots for certain characters because of certain things. Like, I have a soft spot for Lyserg because it was like the first big role I played, and I
From
love
Shaman King, right?
Yeah, I remember him.
I love Shaman King.
Lysick. That's awesome.
I love that show. I thought it was a really good show. I mean, I really loved working on it. And Anthony Salerno,
Yeah.
is probably one of the funniest people.
Oh my god. Yes, he is. Holy crap.
Have you had him on the show?
No, but I worked with him on. I was dubbing like a Turkish soap opera at like Everest in New Jersey like a year ago, and I met him for the first time, and I was familiar with his work because he was on Sonic as well. He played Chip the Chihuahua, and God, he would just me and Michelle Knotts were recording together, and he would just make us crack up in between recording.
I mean, when
So
he
funny.
and I would bounce off of each other, it was amazing. We never got anything done, but I did love that role. I did love working with him and voicing that. And there's this one role that nobody knows and like nobody's ever heard. And I actually tried to find a picture of her, and I finally found one. It was the most ridiculous character I've ever played. And it was, I don't remember her name. It might have been like Miss Suki or something. It was Rayanne's maid in Magical Do Re Mi.
Oh yeah. Tom directed that show, didn't he?
Tom directed it. Yes.
Yeah.
I played 4 characters on that show, and they were all completely different. You wouldn't, they weren't like any of my Sonic characters, so you could kind of pick it out, be like, that's Erica.
Right.
But the maid had like lines that would come out of her mouth every time she talked, like she was always screaming. So Tom was like, we're gonna go with the fact that she's deaf. Like, she's just completely deaf, so she just screams all of her lines. And so the voice that we came up with was like really similar to a female animal, like an old lady animal, the Muppet.
Wow.
If you ever find, it was so, every time we did it, Tom and I were just in hysterics laughs.
Wow.
And it was really hard to get through it. But that was probably my favorite character ever, just because it was so ridiculous. And I remember Mike Pollock saying this in one of the panels. I'm similar to him in the regard that I love doing characters that are really different from me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love doing Scarlet Claw and Cutie Honey, because that was like just so, she was so flippin' weird,
Yeah, no.
Strange and sinister and psychotic, and so I also I like to voice old ladies. I just love it. I don't know why, especially if they're British. British old ladies. My favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say on Lyserg, I found out like I think after the show had stopped airing on because 4Kids did the whole entire series beginning to end, which was cool. I found out later Lyserg was apparently from Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes.
you know the reason why they didn't give him the British accent is because they had already given it to some other character. I can't.
Yeah, they decided, oh, we're gonna make the Chinese characters British. It's like
Because you do.
I remember watching that when I was a kid after I like read the books and I was like,
I
oh,
mean, the way he
okay,
was
whatever.
I think he was British or Scottish. You know what I mean? With the way his
Yeah.
outfit was, he looked like a Sherlock Holmes. You know?
yeah,
I think his character was based near or like similar to Sherlock Holmes because he had the whole get up with the coat and the whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
and he
you
was
were
named
like
after
miles ahead of
Lysergic-
House.
He was named
Yeah.
after Lysergic Passage. That's what one of my fans told me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I see. It would have been. I mean, especially because that show had so many accents. It would have been nice to hear him as a little Brit. But
Yeah, that
but
would be fun.
I guess I'll do my next one because also we've talked about them a few times. So you've worked with like so many different directors. I mean, we've talked about Tom and Tony and like Chris Collet. I think worked on a lot of the Sonic
Oh,
games.
yeah, I did a lot of work with Chris.
Yeah.
A lot of work with Chris.
So like you've done so much work in town and worked with all these different people. Do you feel like each director has kind of their own individual style that like are they easily adaptable in your performances, or do they all kind of know exactly what they want?
Definitely, they're totally different, and everyone's approach is totally different. I mean, like Darren is really he jokes around, but he's very serious. He's very serious, and he knows what he wants, and he's really like he knows the story, he knows the background, and he's really good at having you kind of do like he's good at like having you get it on the first take. But if you don't, he's good at guiding you with language. He has a really good director vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Tom, who's just great at casting. Like the guy is just great at casting, so he just gets it right. He doesn't have to direct too much, but he is also one of those directors who knows exactly what's going on in the episode. He knows everything. He's really studied. Not every director is really like that. None of them are. He's very meticulous, which I think pays off, and but also a lot of fun to work with. And then there's someone like Eric who I was terrified to work with the first time, just because I found him very intimidating.
Eric Stewart, that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I got to know him, I was a little scared of him, just because he's had a crazy amount of experience, and also in the commercial world. I mean, he knows a lot about a lot of different things, and he was sort of like a big honcho there, and I hadn't worked with him. I'd worked there for so long, and I was like, I finally got to work with him, and I was just a little intimidated, for the first time. And he's really, really great. He's great at I did a lot of characters with him that somebody else had first. And he was really cool about let's do a voice match, and then let's completely make it our own.
Right.
Forget about trying to make these people think that you were the original voice. He's like, because they're not going to think that. They're not going to forget that first person. So, if he had an idea that didn't, it didn't go in that direction with the first actor, he'd be like, let's try this,
Mm.
I want to try this. And so I thought that was really cool of him. But also he's great at nailing the comic jokes. He knows what he wants, and he knows how to get it from you. So I mean, there's so many different directing styles.
Have you worked with Mike Nicholas before?
Oh yeah. I worked with
cool.
Mike, not in a long time. Mike has an extreme idea of what he wants,
Mm-hmm.
and so whereas I might get, I like to get things on the first take because I feel like the first instinct is always the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't get it, with the timing, then you might have to do a second one or a third one, or sometimes that acting choice that you made wasn't what the director was hoping for. And 9 times out of 10, the acting choice that I would make with Mike was not the one he was looking for.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
And no, I mean we had a great time, but with him, it was definitely more. Well, that's a good example to bring up because with him, we took a lot more time, but he liked to have options. He liked to have options because you're not recording with the other actor in the room. So I think Mike would want to get an A, a B, and a C in case the other actor decided to go, extreme anger when you're playing the reaction to that extreme anger is like, let's just say the person says, like, I can't believe you did that to me, and then you're saying like, oh well, sorry, but that's like post. So he's like, oh, that didn't really fit. That person's reaction should have been a lot bigger.
Right.
So he would have like a lot of options. So he could go back in and make that reaction bigger. Like, I'm so sorry, instead of like, I'm so sorry, So I guess, yeah, with Mike, he's just, he really wants to get a lot of different takes and a lot of different ideas about he's not really completely interested in what your first instinct is as an actor, as opposed to what is your array of choices.
Yeah, that's very true. I did some Walla with him yesterday for like a couple hours, and I mean, even just doing like soldier number 26 or whatever, he wanted like A, B, C, D, E, F options for
I think
that,
that's admirable. If he has the time and the budget to pay for that, I say go for it.
Right.
But you don't always have that luxury of having the extra time,
All right, somebody, now that I've...
All right, well, I think it's time for a really in-depth question that'll spark a lot of conversation. What sound do you love?
Sound do I love?
Yes.
Well, obviously, I love the sound of my children's voices.
Oh.
And my son just recently started saying, I love you, Mama. Just saying it to me like completely randomly, or I love you so much.
So he's not saying Mama got milk?
Well, not anymore, I hope.
No, not anymore. No. There are those who like to breastfeed into the toddler years, but that wasn't for me.
Thank goodness.
I know you were super busy. You've got a whole troop of little ones to take care of, right?
I got 2 kids and 2 dogs.
Oh my gosh.
2 kids and 2 dogs.
Yeah, I
What kind of dogs?
I have a Brittany, which some people call Brittany Spaniel, but kind of took the Spaniel off like 10 years ago because it's really a pointer. And his name is Fitz, but we named him Fearless Fitzwater of Forest Hills because that's where we were living when we got him.
Aww.
And we got him from a breeder. He's just gorgeous. He's 10 years old now, and he's 11. And he acts like he's 3, He still can scale a mountain in 3 seconds. And then a year later, we got our English setter, and we named him Franklin because he was not free. And Franklin means free man, even though he's not a man, he's a dog. But we named him Franklin. He's a little mush. He's just, he's the kind of dog that's like silly putty. You can kind of do whatever you want with him, and he'll just kind of stay that way. I can put both of his legs behind his head, and they'll just kind of keep him there. He's sunning himself. He's just so cute. And he's 10, and he looks like he's 2.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Mike Pollock is on Skype right now, and I just told him that you said hi, and he says hi back.
Oh, cool. I like Mike. Mike is one of those people who I thought was like completely straight-laced and like completely serious all the time. And then over the years, as I'm getting to know him, I'm finding it's a complete opposite. He is like, oh boy, can he be dry and sarcastic. He's got a fantastic sense of humor. Fantastic.
He is very, very proper. I think that was the very intimidating interview. We had him on the show several years ago, and he was a joy to have on. But like he's, for a guy that I think he did radio. He wasn't like a theater guy, but he's so thespian and like near British.
Yes, but he's just very dry. Very dry. He's got a very dry sense of humor. It's very funny.
Alrighty.
So hey, Martin, aren't you next? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Where are we? Which character was the hardest role to get into?
like vocally, or do you mean like character?
Music
Like
on the
audition-wise?
clothes and
Which character did you struggle to get into the mindset of the most?
You know, it's going to be surprising, but I would say Akiza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I, not that I didn't enjoy it, I completely enjoyed it. But she's kind of sneaky. I mean, I was confused as to where her storyline was going, and what was cool about the style of direction is that she, you didn't really know, you know, what side she was on. I didn't look things up to find out what was going on. I like to stay in the moment. Like in theater, you have, you know, the unfortunate knowledge of knowing the end of the play. But with this, I could come in and not know how it was going to end and completely play the moment. And when you're like an actor in an acting class, the director or the teacher in the class loves, you know, one of their favorite things to say is, don't play the end. Don't play the end. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. So I was able to stay in the moment and be lucky to explore her storyline as it was happening and not know what was, you know, going to be happening next. And so, I mean, I don't know if that means it was difficult to get into, but I guess difficult to know, like, where she was coming from, you know?
No, that makes sense.
What is her deal, you know? But I love that she was complex. This is a very complex character, which not all the characters.
Hello, who's calling? What the? Who is
Whoa!
Whoa, hi.
Hello.
And
Whoa,
suddenly
what's going
Mike
on?
Pollock?
Ladies and gentlemen, super special secret extra guest Mike Pollock is on the show again.
No way!
I was just across the hall taping a special.
Hi,
are you?
Mike. How are you doing?
I'm lovely, thank you so much. How's everyone? Hi, Erica. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great,
You sounded
thank
like
you.
Howard Cosell for a minute there.
Sometimes I do.
Oh my God.
Were your ears burning? We were just talking about you saying wonderful things.
Thank you so much. Yes, I heard. Thank you so much. Wonderful things back to you. And more. See, I can say more wonderful things than you can by saying and more.
So we have Dr. Eggman and Blaze in the same room. Oh wait, no, actually Eggman Nega. Isn't Eggman Nega her rival? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So, oh Lord. So there's gonna be some bad things going on here in a minute.
This is gonna be awkward.
Do the
Go back in
underscoring.
time.
All of a sudden, I'm like kind of like zoning out listening, and all of a sudden Mike's face, and I'm like, who made their icon Mike Pollock? Oh shit!
Funny how that works out.
Yeah.
I know you've got a previous engagement, but I just wanted to bring you in to say hi for a little bit. So thank you for coming on again. It's been like forever since we had you in here, Mike.
Yes, indeed. Let's do this again sometime. I'm glad I could be a cameo.
Yeah.
I hope I see you soon.
It could happen. There's events
Cameos are
coming
cool.
up. We should do an event.
We should.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll do lunch. We'll talk.
Thanks so much. Don't let me keep you. You go back to your thing. I'll go off to my thing.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
Mike.
Bye,
Have a good night.
Mike.
Bye.
Day.
Likewise.
Good
Bye.
morning.
Bye.
Take care, sir.
Oh.
I love
wow.
you.
That
No,
was
wait.
fun.
That just happened. Wow.
that was
Oh.
That was
I-
cool.
Erica, I promise you that was not planned in any way, shape, or form.
What's
that
funny
ever
is
happened before?
No.
No.
we haven't brought in Mike Pollock to like surprise people. Suddenly, Mike Pollock.
Hey, by the way, you're Dr. Robotnik. You know, not like it's part of your childhood or anything.
know,
That's
whatever.
Like, oh, okay.
Oh, hi.
Oh my lord.
Just barging in.
Just
So
trying to cup
if
the
the
shit.
answer to this question is not Mike Pollock, I'm going to be very disappointed. But Dave,
Uh-oh.
next.
Yeah. Oh
I mean,
God.
shoot. What?
Okay. The question is, what sound do you hate?
Oh. Oi. I gewollt.
I Gavolt. Always be a smear. I Gavolt. You and Mike.
The
You
answer
and
is Mike Pollock. No. No.
What sound do I hate? Oh, I hate the sound of the fire alarm. Like
Yeah.
that. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
Ugh.
yeah.
it's
Oh,
so bad. My dogs
jeez.
bark and scream, and then when that starts, and then the dogs start, and then it's like kind of a nightmare. I would say that's the worst.
Oh
sound.
yeah.
not nails on a chalkboard. I can handle that stuff.
Oh, you a professional then, huh?
When Dave turned into a samurai, I'm sorry.
We'll get you next time.
You gonna ambush me with a fire alarm?
No, no.
Your own house.
You go into
I haven't set up anything.
We were
You go to-
planning that now.
That would be
That'd be ridiculous.
Gabby.
Yes.
Do this last one pretty, please, with a cherry on
All
top.
I'm saying. Post.
All right. For our last question, it's actually from our friend Game Buddy. And he wanted to know, has there ever been a dubbing production that you had to take a step back from and admire just how crazy or nonsensical it was? And a PS that the dub of The Machine Girl was one of his favorite things ever.
You know, I did not do The Machine Girl. But
Game Buddy!
Damn it.
Game Buddy.
Game Buddy.
All right, Game Buddy.
I think he's thinking of the actress who played Raina in the series, played Machine Girl, right?
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know.
Game Buddy, you're so naive.
Boy, I don't know. Maybe he's right. Maybe I did do it, but I don't remember doing it. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry if I did it. I'm sure I did a wonderful job.
Either way, but yes, has there been like a project you've worked on that has really made you be like, what the hell am I working on here?
Oh, yeah, lots of them. Lots of them. But, yeah, well, like, Cutie Honey was bizarre, but I loved it. I like that stuff. I think the more nonsensical it is, the better. I mean, my favorite type of plays to do are, like, absurd plays. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Christopher Durang is.
I know the name.
If you don't, if you ever see a production, a Christopher Durang play being done anywhere, go see it. Because he's an absurd playwright. I mean...
All right, BRB, I'm sorry.
It will tickle your funny bones. Trust me. Trust me. But no, I'm a fan of those kinds of things. So, I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question, Game Boy.
Game Boy.
That's just not Game Boy.
But yeah, I mean, like when I was doing Rand's Maid, I kind of felt like that. It was just so crazy, but I like that. So.
Has there been any? I know that Tom works on some weird stuff. Like I know that like Tokyo Mew Mew. I think you worked on that show, right?
Yeah.
That was a bizarre kind of show. I kept up with that one for a little while.
That was bizarre. Yeah, I played a shy girl, Bridget Verdant, the librarian, the one with glasses, who has to be shy, of course, and a nerd. That's what glasses mean.
I think it was lettuce, right?
Yeah, lettuce was the green one. Yeah.
All right, well, we're kind of at the end of our questions here. Does anyone have anything they would like to ask Miss Schroeder here?
Anyone?
I do.
Uh-oh.
I was wondering if you could say our tagline, whachow, it's like a kick in the nuts, as Blaze the Cat, just for my own little happy time.
What is it?
Whachow, it's like a kick in the nuts.
And if you can work the phrase "fuckface" in there somewhere, then that would be great.
Don't confuse her now.
What? All right, let me try this. Ready? Whachow, it's like a kick in the nuts.
Yay!
Yay!
And I believe that makes, 5 Sonic characters we have saying our tagline?
Yeah.
Soon we'll have them all.
Well, thank you
And
very
then
much.
Wario too. That's pretty extensive collection, I'd say.
But anyways, it's been a real pleasure having you on. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, even though we're all fuck faces, but we try.
Actually, Erica, before we leave, could you maybe tell us like what can we hear you on right now? Like what is airing, or I don't know.
I don't know what's. I know there's some other stuff airing that I'm not aware of, but I know that I play Bianca on Pokemon, and as well as a bunch of Pokemon too.
You did
but
Piplup, didn't you?
No, that's Michelle.
I think I only did Piplup for a movie. One movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the
video game, something.
I know she did it at one point, so.
Yeah, just one. And then I actually don't know who does Piplup. Who did Piplup?
That's Michelle Knotts.
Michelle Knotts, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. And then I play Kathy Catherine on Zexel, which I'm actually going to be doing now. I mean, tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be doing Kathy Catherine.
Beautiful.
And I don't know what else is airing, to be honest.
Okay,
But,
well, I know definitely Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are the two big ones for sure.
Those are two that I'm working on now, and then, I'm doing audiobooks here and there and stuff like that. And a bunch of other projects and a bunch of cast recordings, and I was just doing my husband's demo, Macbeth, a rock opera. I look forward to sharing that with you guys in the future.
Beautiful.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's
And
really awesome.
and do you have any conventions maybe next year at some point, or anything else planned out like that?
I am in the process of possibly saying yes to one or two, but I don't. If I will make Facebook announcements, so you can find me on Facebook, Erica Schroeder, actor director. If anybody has any questions or anything, and I'll probably I'll make an announcement if I'm going to be doing one. So thanks so much for having me. You guys are a hoot.
Yeah, no
It
problem.
was a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if there's a convention in the area, I will definitely try to make it out and meet you in person if the opportunity arises.
He'll be there standing there with a
One
fire alarm like under his arm.
friend who I don't know.
Well, the next time we have Mike on, we'll bring you in to bombard him all of a sudden.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a great idea.
It's like, surprise!
Suddenly, Erica.
Revenge. Ah, ha, ha.
Well, Erica,
Alright, well-
thank you so much. Seriously.
Yes, thank you for being on, and from everyone viewing, we say thanks as well. I'm sure they do. They better anyway.
Yeah.
Great. Take care.
All right.
Bye, Erica.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 All
Oh,
right.
That was cool.
fuck.
That was
That
awesome.
was awesome.
That's cool.
Okay. All right. Listen, I know I was talking
Yes.
shop a lot.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but
Yes.
but tell me I didn't make up for it with the fucking mic thing, right? Please. Oh,
That
fuck
was-
you, assholes! Oh my god! Look, listen to me. I don't get the chance to do that shit very often. Please, understand. I can't fucking help talking about that kind of shit with these people. I'm sorry, okay? But
That's all right.
But
I did find it amusing though. It was like I knew first name, last name, and have you met with
Yeah.
first name, last name?
Yeah.
because I was trying to speak her language. I fucking.
I'm still recording all of this. So lol.
Good job, retard. Holy shit.
God. Oh, you're gonna put this at the end, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
he is.
It's gonna be.
Whachow, it's like a kick an embarrassing curb.
Oh, let's.
You do that for
Da,
yourself.
da,
Holy shit.
Anyway.
I am turning this off now.
I-
Okay.